Love watching returned pros play. And then, of course, how he's going to do versus someone like Caleb, who's been very active, always hitting that grind, it seems.
Caleb's been playing in tournaments for years at this point. And again, not as long as QXC's been around, but still. He has a lot of experience, a lot of ZVT under his belt. Again, it's the new patch, though. Some new meta stuff, possibly. We'll see how he handles it.
All right, and spawning in the right-hand side of the map. Playing for Team Rise Esports, it is CalebAracous. Now, don't be confused by the ID. He's just being one of those NA people. But it is Caleb.
And in the left side of the map, it's the purple Terran player. It's QXC.
Yes, with the correct ID. Bonus points for that. All right, now Automaton, one of the new maps. I mean, we cast 2 TVPs with this today, but not a TvZ. I have even cast a TVT on it, but no TvZs seen on this map yet, from my point of view, so I'm excited to see how it's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. We haven't had this matchup at all today. So Zergs in general got some small nerfs, some weird changes to Hydralisk. They shoot a little less quick, a little less fast than they used to. Burrow times were adjusted. They changed a burrow to be on 2 separate keys, which has made a lot of Zergs fairly upset just because they're used to having it on 1 key, and now they can't put it on 1 key based on how the hotkeys are set up.
I thought it made a lot of Zergs happy.
Well, except for the ones that wanted to keep burrow on the same key like it's always been. If you wanted it on separate keys, then good for you. But there's no way to keep it the way it was, unfortunately. I saw Nurchko was complaining about it on Twitter too the other day. Yeah, because it's two separate keys, and if you bind R to one, you can't bind R to the other one.
Are you sure? You can double bind keys, can't you?
No, I tried it in the client yesterday. So that's a bummer. Also, Ultras have a new upgrade, Anabolic Synthesis, which is actually taken from Brood War. It's speed for Ultras. They're the same speed on creep that they've always been, but off creep they get a pretty nice boost to their speed. They can chase units down a little bit better than they used to be able to. I like that, man. Speed in an RTS is everything, and making Ultras faster makes them a little bit more viable in a land where Marauders and Mortal Liberators and Ghosts, and there's a lot of answers to Ultra. Just making them a little bit faster, I don't think will make them OP, but just more viable, I think.
Yeah. Now, as far as this series goes, if I had to guess, I think we're going to see a very standard TvZ, at least from QXC's part, as he is one of those older players. So basically, he's probably going to try and fall back on the fundamentals, right?
Yeah, looks like it. We shouldn't see anything too crazy from him. I'd be surprised if we saw a lot of Cyclone play, but I don't know. Maybe QXC's been preparing for this. Maybe he's been working hard over the last few months.
He was one of those guys pioneering the very early Cyclone back in the beta. And for now, seeing that third base go up and looking at this map in TvZ, I'm willing to bet that this map looks pretty darn good for Terran. If I had to guess, just from all the choke points and the way the bases are laid out, like it's fairly open for harassment and stuff. But but defensively or offensively, there's a lot of choke points and things that you can use, which generally suits Terran pretty well.
Amen. Choke points are great for Terran. Zerg hate those things. They will avoid running in there. But yeah, QXC, I remember he came back for early Legacy of the Void beta, and he got wrecked by a Zerg going mass lurker. I don't remember who it was, but he was just like, what do we do about this? And then apparently Terrans figured it out, because we never see lurker versus Terran anymore.
We do not. They're just too slow. As Terrans just bounce around. They're like, oh, lurker's here, I'll go drop your main. Or make a bunch of liberators.
And I'll just get tanks if you try to siege me. It's just, yeah, lurker not good.
Okay, now that third base getting up for Caleb. Meanwhile, QXC just going for the 4 Hellion opening here. Interesting, or actually 6 Hellions, pardon me, ignore me. And then getting up that fast third CC. So a very macro-oriented play. 2 Marines going to shut down this Overlord that's scouting, but it's already seen the third base, and we're seeing a Roach Warren on the way from Caleb.
Yep, so nothing too crazy here out of Caleb. Roaches are very standard mid-game against Terran. Eventually you want to get off Roach Ravager, as the upgrades will start stacking better for Terran than they do for you. As the Reaper gets picked off there, you want to get into Broodlords or Ultras or Infestors or something later game. You just cannot stick on Roach Ravager past that 12-minute mark, but we'll see.
Look at this. QXC is making the new Cyclone and more Hellions.
All right, QXC up on the meta.
Yeah, I was predicting Bio, but he's gonna be making it happen. As already
sure
making a
is.
cyclone. No mag field
More.
accelerator yet.
Yet.
But it looks like he will be going for that 3 factory bio or mech play, pardon me, on 3cc. So maybe he has tooled around a little bit with these new units.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't agree to play in this if he hadn't touched StarCraft in a couple years. So Queen's gonna fight here against this Hellion front, and Queens are so good. Ooh, new transfuse too on the Queens. They do less damage straight up, but it is an instant heal, and then the remainder of the heal comes in as a heal over time type situation.
Yes, it's very important to note though that it does not stack, which is something I found out the other day.
Yep. All right, so Queen's gonna fight in here. The Cyclone doing some nice damage there. Does not do bonus to the Queens as they are not armored. They're
without
psionic.
that mag field accelerator, they do not do much damage compared to seeing them with it, in which they just chew through everything. So it would be nice to see QXE get that, and of course, since he's making a lot of cyclones, he is getting it.
There it is, ready to rock. So more Cyclones, more Hellions, more factories back home for QXC, going mech against this Terran player. Okay, in this case, Roaches are going to be better longer. I was really talking about Roach versus Bio when I mentioned previously that Roach Ravager needs to be transitioned out of, but Roaches can have value throughout the mech matchup, assuming there aren't too many tanks. I just don't want to engage in them directly, but it looks like not much tank production at all here for QXC. It feels like really sticking heavily on the Cyclones and the Hellions and going to go for that Hellbat transition as soon as he's able to do so.
Yeah, mass Cyclone versus Roach is always something that's interesting because it really comes down to the Cyclones usually will just either annihilate what they're fighting or sort of just fall short because they'll just be too much for them to deal with. And, oh, look at this, Caleb knocking down those gold minerals. Something that I actually saw, or I think it might have been in a TvZ that I did play on this map, was that Zerg, they like to take their macro hatchery here and just mine the gold, because why not?
Yep, seems like a legitimate way to do things here, but more Cyclones showing up. Infestation pit on the way here from Caleb too, trying to get some shots off that lock-on ability. Really problems for this hatch. I think it's going to go down. That lock-on is
so much damage.
Oh, he saved it!
Yeah, and suddenly there's a lot of Zerg here pushing QXE back. That hatchery can always be transfused, and QXE will have to get through a lot of units in order to get that final shot off.
Yeah, that's a fantastic wall. Mech units, too, they look more intimidating than regular units. Makes you feel like less likely you're going to get up there. And holy smokes, Infestor. So Infestors were buffed a little bit, and that fungal growth now does keep stuff from getting picked up by medevacs and warp prisms and stuff and blinking out of it. If you get hit by fungal, you are slowed, period. You can't get picked up by anything.
Yeah, they also went on a bit of a diet, so they're a bit smaller. Zerg said that they're more manageable.
Yeah, and just harder to target is my thing. I was always upset because Zerg casters are these big fat infestor things, and High Templar and Ghosts are so small and so hard to hit in the heat of battle, whereas infestors are just big tubby balls of a lard you can click on so easily. Always bothered me, that change. So now that they're smaller, I feel better about it.
Okay, but yeah, this is definitely one way to deal with the mobile mech style. The Infestors will lock down the Cyclones and the Hellions, but QXE back at home, he is transitioning into what looks like a more standard mech, getting up a ton of command centers, and then even a fusion core, and some starports on the way.
Oh man, battle cruiser. This is it. This is my hope.
Is he the promised one? Is QXE the promised one who will come and deliver us from these Zerg?
Deliver us from non-battle cruiser games that have been plaguing us for so long. All right, QXC really blending into the creep over there. You can see him pushing in, kind of hard to see a little bit here, but we've just been dancing in this location for a little bit. The hatch is not dead, which is a really big deal, and a bit of a roach attack trying to sneak in. They're going to see this command center floating over, and I don't know if you can push into this. There are 3 tanks, man. Well, got a Cyclone out of it, and he's going to run for his life.
Oh, sound the alarm.
Yeah! Hooray! Battle cruiser.
QXE making a lot of noise coming back with his battle cruisers.
Oh man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Now the new BCs, they're pretty good in the early game. They're great at harassing. Late game, that's debatable, but in the early game they are very effective, sort of getting them relatively quickly, which QXC is doing. I mean, we're only 10 minutes into the game, and a battlecruiser is on the production tab. Meanwhile, a Hellion run by looking for something. But,
and no, it's enough circling to shut that down. Speed definitely catching up with those guys, not enough Hellions to make it happen. If he gets Neural Parasite for these Infestors, that'd be really fun too. Let's see if he recognizes the battlecruiser threat and if he goes for Neural. Oh, Infestors, see what I mean? A little bit. They're easy to see, easy to target. They're definitely smaller though. I like it. I like the change.
Yeah, they are. They don't stand out anywhere near as much.
No.
Than they used to. Meanwhile, this third base of QXC, but it is under attack, but it's very locked down. Yeah, this is a good map for Terran. Just look at all these choke points that Zerg has to step through. Now, QXC got out a battlecruiser, waiting for some more. We have yet to see Yamato Cannon researched.
That's
so
true.
he needs that. You gotta get the yams.
And yeah, he really needs Corrosive Biles to start landing on those tanks. This tank count cannot get higher than it is at this point. And Hellbat, ooh, the Hellbat transformation, making them handle those lings a lot better. Not that that was enough lings to kill those guys anyway, especially with the blue flame. But +3 missile attack being researched by Caleb right now, working on +2 Grand Carapace. He's tossing up a Spire. I would not be shocked if I saw him starting to go for Corruptor right now. Corruptor is the answer to Battlecruiser. And here we go, coming on in. There's a nice abduct on that tank. Another tank gets abduct on in. I love seeing abduct used for its original intent.
Oh,
and that's beautiful stuff.
Oh, those Infestors. Oh, man. Oh, those Cyclones almost three-shot Infestors.
Jeez. But yeah, 9 Corruptors in production now. They're going to go ahead and augment this army to deal with the BCs. BCs, again, can't tactical jump out. And if you're taking them down, they will jump away.
Unless... Wait, no, they can't if they're fungled anymore.
Can you not tactical jump if you're fungled?
You cannot.
Did they specifically mention that?
Yeah, they did.
Awesome. Okay, good. All right, so that's maybe what the Infestors are for. Well, no, they were made before Battlecruisers
They
were present at all. He almost did consume.
He did. He was like, wait, no.
Was like,
I don't want to be that Zerg.
Right.
Now, I mean, QXC is in a pretty comfortable spot. He's on 4 bases. Look at that nice missile turret wall he has up, too. And then he's got a ton of CCs out as well. He's building up a battlecruiser count. The effectiveness of mass late game BCs, I think that's still going to be up in the air, but Caleb's coming on and eating a lot of tank shots as he does, though. With these battlecruisers, they can always just Yamato Cannon the Vipers as well. Actually, no, they can't. Yamato Cannon just finishing up partner.
Ooh,
oh man, look at him go, though.
Down.
They just move while shooting. It's beautiful.
It really is very beautiful. Yamato Cannon down on one of the Vipers.
This is actually amazing.
And they can chase this army down, and they can get on creep, and they can run away at this point.
Yeah, the Corruptors are going to try and end that party. However, Corruptors, they can't just sort of, poke and prod the BCs because they'll just Yamato Cannon and teleport away. But look at these Hellions.
Oh. They want this base. They're not going to get it, but it's going to be close.
But here comes in a whack load of Hellbats heading towards that 5th base.
Roaches trying to stand their own here, but man, Hellbats with upgrades and Blue Flame, pretty fantastic.
They are,
really
yeah.
hold their own. But yeah, that's enough for Roach to clear that up. More and more Corruptors in production, working on +1 Flyer attack 2 is Caleb. And I cannot believe how few hit points that base has. So yeah, Corruptor Ravager is basically what we're seeing out of Caleb right now, making additional queens, getting +3 ground carapace. QXC has a ton of bases though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bases for him, and it's 5 bases for Caleb. Does not look to be expanding, and I really feel like he should.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Zerg and the Terran's sort of playing a more passive style, you got to try and out-expand them, but QXC is doing a good job. I mean, he's on 5 bases, matching the Zerg. And I mean, with all these BCs, they definitely can move out at any time, but there we go. That Neural Parasite on the way. And the second Spire, so... already thinking about dealing with those mass BCs.
Yeah, that Corruptor count has just got to be absolutely terrifying. Holy smokes, is that the medevac upgrade?
It is.
Where they can boost more frequently is what they changed that to.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah,
why
so
though?
Definitely.
Wait. Okay. Oh, he started a +1 +1 bio for a second. But then he canceled that, so that's interesting getting that. Does he think it's like Banshee speed or something? Because it kind of looks the same.
The icon?
Yeah.
Hyperflight Rotors is all blue. That's a ton of orange in there.
Yeah, it's sort of like
I don't know.
the same. I don't know. You're right.
I don't agree.
Oh man, these BCs, the Yamato cannons. Oh man.
Ow.
And then
Some
Cyclones for
chasing
good
these
measure.
guys away too.
Oh man, those Corruptors are taking a beating for Caleb.
I like what we're seeing.
And here goes the BCs. They eat a few corrosive vials, but Caleb's army, it took a big beating there. A lot of infestors, more corruptors on the way, but that was a nice find for QXE getting on top of that army. Although they do have to be careful. If this army gets fungal growth, the BCs could just be locked down, and this is a scary Zerg army. Parasitic Bomb locking it down. Tons of queens to transfuse. And I mean, he's got to be careful. A fungal growth or two, and this army gets stuck.
I don't see any fungals going down, and they are tactical jumping out of there quite nicely. Battle cruiser gets picked off. Queen's on the ground trying to make something happen, but everybody's jumping out as soon as they can. There's the Neural Parasite, and then Infested Terrans on the ground to finish him off. Okay, and again, the anti-air from Infested Terrans is disgusting.
Yeah, it is so good. But, I mean, if he had a fungal growth...
Could have kept a lot of guys around.
Yeah, like, I'm 90% sure that that is a change, that fungal growth now locks him down.
I just don't recall them mentioning that in the patch notes in particular. Let me pull it up real quick here.
Yeah, if you would be so kind, that would be awesome. Meanwhile, Caleb's still just on these 5 bases. He's trying to get up, well, he's getting up a 6th base, not really mining yet. Meanwhile, QXE, he's very happily saturated. These Corruptors are coming on in the battle cruisers. I mean, there's just a ton of battle cruisers. There's currently 12 out for QXE versus 22 Corruptors. He Yamatos, and suddenly he outnumbers the Corruptors. But then there's all these Infestors as well. Infested Terran's very good.
It doesn't say anything about BC. It talks about Stalkers can't blink, Siege Tanks and Vikings can't switch between their modes.
Really?
It prevents Zerg units from burrowing and unburrowing.
Oh, okay. Maybe I am completely mistaken then. Huh. I
mean, if it's...
apologize.
Yeah, if it's the case, I haven't heard that. Dude, the Neurals right now not doing
still
as
the
much
Yamato
as
cannons
the
killing off
Infestors.
so many Infestors.
Yeah, Corruptor's trying to do stuff here. The Transfuse is keeping those Corruptors alive fairly well. This PC just hammering on his brethren there a little bit. SCV's repairing on the ground here too. What a game one. Engagement there at a couple of the bases by Caleb. Top left-hand corner, we got some stuff going on.
Oh, that base almost getting picked off. Looks like that base was under a little bit of fire too, but QXE keeping it alive. It's like someone did mention in chat that teleport, blink and teleport, which is the BC ability.
That's the only thing that can teleport.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Maybe Caleb doesn't know.
Maybe not. I mean, we're having to discuss this so much, but look at all these Corruptors, though. This is actually absurd. 32. But I mean,
yeah,
Corruptors are pretty good versus BCs.
They're
they
fantastic
so much damage
versus BCs. Especially with +2 flyer attack kicking in right now.
Ravens for anti-armor missiles, and BCs with their high rate of attack, no armor on Corruptors, they'll do so much damage. Are we going to see an anti-armor missile go down?
There it is. Dude. No, doesn't catch many of the Corruptors.
Yeah, it misses a fair few of them, that's for sure. So QXE got to be careful. I mean, he only has 12 battle or 14 battle cruisers. Man, and I like how I say only, but
yeah,
meanwhile he's splitting the map. And
yeah,
this could actually be a long game here, as QXE really is splitting this map, setting up a ton of turrets. Resources lost. Hold on, it's currently 15k to 20k in QXE's favor. So in a split map situation, it's going to be looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, Roaches keep trying to make stuff happen, but tanks are set up in great positions for QXE to shut that down pretty much consistently throughout the game. And Corruptors, they really should just dive in at this point. I mean, not onto the missile turrets, but if the battle cruisers want to jump out there, they should engage. Again, top left-hand corner, more harassment coming in here by QXE. Roaches here to defend, shutting that down quite nicely.
Oh, look at all those spines too. I love it. Gotta defend from Hellion Runbus.
And Battlecruiser's going for it. Assimilation successful. Battlecruiser taking serious shots here. Teleporting out, but not too far away, which means the Corruptors can chase them here. Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job with the teleport at the last minute.
Going down too. Numbers are thinning out though. QXC loses a few BCs, but not too many, it looks like. These Corruptors still trying to pick off 1 or 2 there.
Yeah, Missile Turret's getting some nice hits off. Both players maxed out. 19 Corruptors in production for Caleb.
11 Battlecruisers have died this game.
That's a good number.
Like
that's
10,000 resources worth of Battlecruisers, or like 5,000 resources worth of Battlecruisers.
Not too shabby.
So, I mean, Caleb, that was actually a pretty good fight for him, all things said, resource-wise. Now QXC is building some more BCs, getting up some tanks. But he has done a very good job securing this position. A lot of tanks, a lot of turrets getting set up as well.
+3 flyer attack getting started for Caleb here, which is fantastic. 14 Spore Crawlers coming in at a time. Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a very back and forth. Trenches have been dug. It's going to take a while to do stuff. Roach is getting Yamato Cannon. Hellbat's here at this left-hand base for Caleb, trying to expand over that direction. There's one base that has not been taken yet on the right side. I feel like QXC has his eyes on it. But yeah, I think these Hellbats are actually going to get this thing, as Caleb seems too intent on dealing with other stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, Caleb will eventually mine out. Like, there's not too many bases to take on the map, and it's already split. QXC rocking the Olympic rings of sensor towers, by the way.
Yes. Close enough, anyway.
Oh, there's
another one comes up.
Apparently seeing all of Caleb wasn't enough.
No, Greater Spire on the way. I kind of... Do I like Broodlords here? Yamato Cannon versus Broodlord is really good. Oh, they nerfed it, though. They nerfed Yamato Cannon.
240 damage is the new amount. How much health does a Broodlord have?
Let's find out. I did this the other day, but Broodlords have 225 HP.
So they will still be one shot.
Yep.
What was the change aimed at so that they wouldn't one-shot Tempest, right?
It was Void Rays, I believe.
Oh, okay.
I believe the one change that I was able to find was Void Ray.
Oh,
Corruptor
man.
diving in again,
This
and
is
Neuroparasiting.
Look at that, he uses the recall on the Neural VCs, picks them both off.
Wow.
Oh, he almost gets another. The tongue extended, but got cut off there, as those tanks are doing a good job preventing the infestors from inching forward.
Yeah, I do like these Broodlords just to kind of break this tank line, which is somehow really big for QXC. I don't know how it's so big. We have Broodlords in production, 8 of them.
8 is a bit too many. Because, you really need to focus on the anti-air, because it doesn't matter how many Broodlords you have if you lose all your Corruptors.
Yamato Cannons flying in, picking off Corruptors here and there, and that is, again, that's a free pick-off. It didn't cost you anything to do that. It's just energy, just a cooldown.
Yeah, I mean, if these Broodlords start cleaning out all these tanks, there's even Widow Mines which will deal friendly fire. So it looks like that Caleb's going for it, trying to focus down another BC, gets it before it blinks on out, getting a second one as well. Anti-armor missiles are going down on these Corruptors though, so the BCs just became so much better versus them, but the Broodlords still stand. There's only like 4 or 5 8 BCs on the map for QXC. More of them are just coming off the press here.
They're starting to kick on in, working on vehicle weapons, waiting for that anti-armor. Actually diving in anyway. Who needs to wait? There we go. Another anti-armor missile as soon as it's done.
Those turrets,
the Broodlords are effectively unmolested here. They're continuing to rain down on top of the tanks, pulling back when they start to get target fired. One Broodlord did get picked off there.
Yeah, I mean, the Yamato cannons, like, they get a guaranteed trade with the BCs pretty much, but there's just so many Corruptors coming out for Caleb. He's got 30 still resources lost. Still that 5k gap, which is important for QXE. Caleb, he doesn't have a massive gas bank.
That's true. He has less than 1,000 gas. They're actually switched positions here. QXE has a ton of gas and no minerals. Caleb's the opposite.
I guess you can't mass Ravens if you have a ton of gas anymore. A lot of Yamato cannons being dumped out there.
Yeah, but
BCs have to retreat.
More Yamato cannons on the Broodlords, but still a couple remaining.
Oh,
Still
man,
pushing
those...
on this tank line. There's your
they
jump, and
came
he
to
didn't
the
jump
wrong
far enough
spot.
away, and several VCs end up going down. Broodlords pulling back. More Corruptors in production, and more Broodlords coming in too.
This is why I don't really care whether they change BC's attack so that they can shoot while moving, because Corruptors still just destroy them like Caleb's been doing. QXE, maybe he needs some Vikings or Liberators in here in order to be able to fight all these, because just straight BC versus Corruptor does not fare well for the BCs.
No, definitely not.
Now we're seeing some Thors and more Ravens on the way.
Broodlords raining down those Broodlings all over these missiles. QXE's abandoned the position, but still, getting rid of static defense is a big deal.
Yeah, QXE actually wiped Caleb's base on the left side, so neither of these guys are mining from their one final base.
I mean, again, just kind of dancing around, trying to find these BCs. Corruptors are trading very well with them. Sure should I... King Cobb in chat says that the battle cruiser is 50 DPS with the anti-armor missile up on the Corruptors. So, I mean, they hit the Corruptors hard when that anti-armor missile is up, and that's why we do have Raven production continuing here for QXC.
Yeah, Thors will also help out as well. I mean, if you can land an anti-armor missile on the Corruptors and their splash damage goes off, or they could always be in single target mode to deal with the Broods, but I imagine he wants these to help dissuade the Corruptors from just diving on forward.
Yeah, generally not good against Corruptor is that splash damage attack, but with the anti-armor it definitely helps. It makes it much better.
And the +2 attack as well. +3 would be good to see to support these Thors, but yeah.
Yep, sitting on...
Oh no. Oh no.
+3 Flyer Carapace. That bait? Nope.
Oh, kinda.
Oh, a little bit.
That works out well for QXE. It's like, what, you gotta kill like 3 Corruptors to be worth 1 battle cruiser?
Yeah.
It's just under 3, I think.
And Caleb is taking that base on the right side, so he's going to be okay economically, I think.
Oh,
he can hold on to it.
Tanks rolling forward for QXE, just really committing to the air.
Oh, stopping in range of a spine, though. Don't want to do that.
Doesn't matter if the spine gets blown away, though. So this base
Extra
for Caleb
shots,
being shut down, that's a good chunk of his income. However, QXE, this fortress he has over here, a lot of turrets and a lot of planetaries here. Broodlords will take a while to chew through it, but...
They'll get there.
And this is baiting QXE out.
Oh. It is. Some of these Corruptors are anti-armor. They need to wait for that to wear off. But again, there's so many Ravens, it's just going to be consistently applied. There's holy neural
anti-armor missiles going down just yet. There we go.
There it is. But the neural parasite on the BCs, they're fighting each other right now. Tactical jumping out are the ones that can.
Yeah,
target
this is actually
firing
going
down
all
the
right here.
infestors.
Planetary's also staying alive. Anti-armor missile helped out so much. Yeah, Caleb. I mean, he just invested in 15 Hydras, so it wasn't like that was a ton of Corruptors. His count had dwindled a little bit. And so all those Hydras that weren't there, as they were busy dealing with this attack on the other side of the map.
Yeah,
and the Broodlords, it's not like they help versus the BCs, so that was a fantastic fight for QXE.
Indeed. He's got 15 more Corruptors in production. Does Caleb right now. He really needs to hold on to that right side base, if at all possible. Resources lost here, 54,000 for Caleb and 44 for QXC. Ghost coming in, that steady targeting, pretty great against Broodlords and pretty good against Corruptors too, if you need to do that. 20 drones coming in for Caleb right now.
Caleb's saying, I got a mine, and he's taking this base down here, and he does. His income has dropped significantly. His base on the top left was cleared out, but he is taking all the bases.
Yes, which is going to help immensely here, especially if he gets that gas coming in, which he needs to do as soon as possible.
Yeah, and it definitely needs gases. We see him making 6 queens at a time. I guess if you got no gas, make a lot of queens. They're not terrible, but versus BCs, they don't deal the most damage.
No, but the anti-air is okay, and you can transfuse your other units that are fighting. I don't know, queen's not bad. Sure should I calling out. Thinks Caleb is done. I don't know, man. He's taking these 2 extra bases. Seems to be in a pretty good economic position. Especially if he gets that gas income coming in, which he's not doing right now, but
Yeah,
Should be okay.
QXC is also really mining out, kinda. Like, he doesn't really have a fresh base at all. Most of his are just on their last legs here. And so he's got to make the next fight really matter, whereas if Caleb can build up even a little bit of a bank, that would be huge for him. Broodlords are coming forward. Anti-armor missiles push them back. Did they change the animation of the anti-armor missile?
Oh, kind of looks like it did a little bit.
Yeah, it looks more like an actual missile.
Right.
It's no longer like the Raven, just a reskinned Raven thing, it seems.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, some Yamato cannons going off there. QXE getting the jump on Caleb a little bit. Tons of Yamato cannons landing on these Corruptors. And is there going to be enough to stand after they're all gone? Anti-armor missiles going down. Caleb taking a lot of damage. He's focusing down some BCs, though, to the best of his ability. I mean, he's falling them, but not one-shotting them, so they're able just to teleport out. And it looks like that QXE may have done it here. This air army is still pretty formidable.
Yeah, Corruptor's still doing damage, still picking stuff off again. The wounded BCs still hit as hard as regular BCs, but pulling it back here, getting a Raven in the process. And yeah, man, 168 to 116 supply. Caleb can afford 6 more Corruptors. He's still fighting with his Corruptors, man. It takes a long time for them to die here, but they are starting to whittle down. That's too many BCs, too many upgrades, and yeah, it looks like QSC really took that fight well.
Yeah, resources lost twice. He's ahead by 13,000 now. Look at that, a base mining out for Caleb. I mean, he does have all the bases still. He's mining down in the bottom right, but QXE scans that, so I don't think that's going to be long for this world. SCV's repairing these BCs. Caleb really, I think, needs to saturate this base as well. It's very important, like, because his income not too hot right now. But then again, still, neither is QXE's.
No, QXE is starting to get mined out.
If he can manage to deal with QXE's army once, he won't be able to deal with this. QXE can't even really afford to remax for the time being. His income is so low, so he either needs to take one of these bases or end the game.
He's thinking about it. He's got Hellbats on the ground to deal with the Broodlings. Got some tanks in there too. Probably getting a Yamato cannon down the Spore Colonies, or the Spore Crawlers. Spore Colonies. Here, Hellbats trying to do what they can. Hellions, there's the anti-armor missile on the entire Zerg force there. That was disgusting. These Lings are going to die to these Hellbats for sure. Yeah, ground army getting taken out eventually here, but Lings with anti-armor are just so vulnerable. Broodlings getting Yamato down right in the face here. Queen's trying to fight, trying to transfuse their Corruptors at the same time. More Corruptors flying on in. Still alive. Tanks causing problems for the ground army, but wandering into Spine Crawler range again. Where are the Broodlords at? Are they all gone? I think the Broodlords are all gone. The ground army is incredibly terrifying. That said, supply pretty close. 9 more Corruptors in production right now with a couple roaches for Caleb.
Yeah, I'm just desperately trying to get up anything. I mean, the supply, it's close, but I mean, the low numbers BCs are better than Corruptors. A lot of Lings are up for Caleb too.
Wrapping around this backside. Trying to clear something out. Actually, the tanks are getting surrounded quite nicely. Anti-armor kicks up. The tanks are dead. But there are ghosts present right now, and the ghosts using their steady targeting can be great. Auto turrets being tossed down. The Ravens don't need their energy for anything else right now. This base is going to die, and that's your well played. Caleb taps out. QXE takes game number 1 in 33 minutes.
A 33-minute game. Absolutely insane.
With battle cruisers and Corruptors and Broodlords and Infestors and everything you could ever ask for. That was a fantastic, fantastic TvZ.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And that was game number 1, guys. This is a best of 5. The next map is going to be Alexander, Port Alexander. So a bit of a different map, but QXE showing that map pretty good for Terran if you want to lock it down.
Yeah, not too shabby. That was some really great play there from QXC. Very impressed with what he was capable of doing there in game number 1. Caleb had the right compositions, but just couldn't trade effectively. Anti-armor missiles, man. Do you just split against them? How does this work if you're a Zerg player in that situation? Because they do really cause problems for your Corruptor balls.
Okay, we're going to get everyone on into the game and get into game number 2. Yeah, I mean, we saw a lot of BCs there. all the BCs.
All of the BCs you could ever ask for, ever, for Christmas from Santa Claus.
Alrighty, just making sure both these
alright.
players are ready.
Yeah, I mean, that takes a lot out of you playing a 33-minute TvZ.
That's crazy. It takes a lot just to watch. It's like, oh
Yeah, no
man,
kidding.
I'm ready for a nap.
But Caleb and QXC are feeling that too. So, but they are here. They're ready to go. They're calling out the go, go, go. Let's move on in and see if we get another huge macro-style game. I would not be surprised. Skull Kid Masters in chat saying it's nice to see QXC playing. I agree. It's always nice to see QXC playing. Still got it, apparently. Still able to take down Caleb here.
Yeah, that was quite the first game too. We'll see how he's going to do it in the second game. And so, spawning up in the top left-hand side of Port Alexander, it is QXC.
And spotting in the bottom right is the red Zerg player, CalebAracous.
Yeah, we'll see if Caleb's able to bring it back. I mean, this map definitely different. Just, I mean, doesn't look as mech friendly. Just because of sort of how the bases are more strung out.
True.
So we'll see how QXC is going to play this one.
I don't know. I wouldn't be upset to see more Battle Cruiser, that's for sure. That was a lot of fun.
No, you can never be upset to see more battle cruisers.
Yeah, Yamato Cannon is just a really fun animation. The fact that it's also used and useful is fantastic too. But yeah, I believe this map was inspired by the Wings of Liberty campaign mission where you have to go around and gather resources for Mirahan. And yeah, look at that. Overlord actually passes through those boxes. Those boxes are stacked so high.
Was that in Wings of Liberty, that mission?
I think so, because you're playing as Terran.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, awesome.
Yep.
StarCraft
And there's a bunch of
campaigns.
resources just out there on the map, and you can take other bases and recover them that way. And it's actually pretty hard on the higher levels just because there aren't a lot of resources around. You can't just, you know, get as many as you need that quickly. But it's a pretty good one. Pretty fun times.
StarCraft 2 campaigns are so good. And then on just even the achievement hunting is really fun too.
Yeah, totally. All right, Reaper opening here from QXC. SCV comes in to see what's going on, sees an expansion timing, nothing to worry about there. Reaper's going to push out, even though he is recognizing there will be Lings there to meet him and a couple Queens as well soon after he shows up. This dance has been done a lot of times. This is not something that was changed in the current patch. But Factory on the way, Reactor on the Barracks. So it could just be Hellion pressure. It could be an indicator we're going for more mech from QXC. We'll have to wait and see on that one. And yeah, just bypassing these trees, bypassing the rocks, getting past the crates, and hopping up. That looks like a big leap for the Reaper.
Oh man, QXC finding this drone.
Ow. Look at the wiggle. No, don't kill me, he says.
Like, So that's actually a very nice find, shutting that down. Zergs these days, like their very early third hatchery, they don't tend to delay it too much these days. And
True.
Shutting that down is a very nice move. Now, as far as the Reaper otherwise, I don't think it's too likely that it's going to be able to get on into the natural, really, since it is a very small choke. But QXC, Caleb was like, I'll expand left, and QXC says no. So Caleb, going to take the right one, gets that SCV.
Expansion goes down immediately. And working up those minerals to get that third hatch, too. Sitting on about 270, 280. Reaper gets in, hops up onto the high ground.
I don't know if this Reaper's
Nice
going to
dodge.
get out, though. I think he should... Oh.
Speed's not done yet, so I think the Reaper might be able to do some juking here.
Those queens are closing on in. Oh!
Ooh, look at that loop around.
That's actually really good. Oh, never mind.
And there's
Speed
your
finishes.
Yeah.
Took a bit too long there.
Some pretty fancy micro there from QXC.
Okay.
Zerglings pushing against the Hellions.
And we are seeing Bio coming out of QXC this time.
All right, fair enough.
And looks like it will be a third CC play coming up behind this. Where is it? There it is.
Made you wait for it there.
Is that a whole wall?
It
It's these smaller choke points, it's always hard to tell, and I'm always paranoid to use the CC in a wall. Okay. He's throwing up a depot there.
Maybe not.
But other than that, looks like it. Always hard to know. But these few other Hellions hanging around the map, just doing their thing. And that third CC on the way. But however, Caleb, I mean, he threw up that Roach Warren and he's producing an absolute ton. I mean, 9 roaches at 4.5 minutes in the game. That's a Zerg with bad intentions.
Indeed. 12 roaches in production here. Queen spreading that creep. Hellions swinging on into a base where there are no drones to kill whatsoever.
Yeah, QXE has got to be sensing this out. Does he see a roach pop is the main question. These lings are coming on in to shoo him away, though. I don't think he's seen a roach yet. And now there's roaches moving across the map, but the Hellions are not ready to intercept it. And without bunkers starting, it's looking pretty rough for QXE. He now sees some roaches.
Sees 1 roach moving, sees 2 and 3 roaches moving, says, here we go.
And where are the bunkers?
Oh, there we go.
There we go. I think those may be a little bit late, though. These are slow roaches, but they're getting here. 4 or 5 bunkers going up for QXE.
Ravager's coming in here, too. He needs extra fallback positions to try to hold this. Starts making a tank. Starts making Marauders. 24 Lings in production here, too. Are the Hellions... I don't think the Hellions can get back inside. Corrosive Bile's getting tossed down on the supply depot wall. They can reach the bunker from outside here. There's a handful of Marines defending, but once the Lings are in and once the Roaches and Ravagers are present, bunker's going down.
Yeah, he's got stim.
Not even bothering, really.
His units will put out a bit of damage, but not getting into these bunkers, not repairing them. He's got a fair few units working away on this, and I mean, he can afford to lose a few SCVs, loading some Marines into some bunkers now. He's got a tank on the high ground as well. QXE, this was looking very dire, but this bunker being repaired now as well. He's trading out. There's not too much Zerg here left.
There's not. Focusing down the SCVs, 18 SCVs have gone on. The bunker down here. Back to now. Roach is going to trade pretty well against the Marines, but not the Marauders, especially not the tank on the high ground.
And
it looks like QXC survives.
QXC holds. That was looking so dire. But, I mean, not the fastest map to rush on. However, QXC, though, he did lose SCVs. Caleb droned up behind this. He's getting up a layer. So he will be short on tech for now. But he got a bit of damage done. That's sort of like saying, I'd say they're kind of equal in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that worker count is 56 to 33, LaughNgamez.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't, that's a lot of Roach in production, got some Queens in here too. He should be able to recognize this is coming. The Overlord just to the north here, I think he spotted that.
QXC has got stimmed bio though, and that always spells trouble for Zerg on Roaches. I know your opinion on Roaches. And how they're going to make this hold. I mean, smaller numbers of bio Roaches definitely can dispatch with it, but if QXE just sort of inches in here with the tanks, it will force a strong reaction from Caleb. And here comes the bio. Wasting no time. Getting on top of some Queens is a very nice pick-off.
Yeah, the Queens are trying to run, but they're so... I mean, even on creep, they're just not... 5 more Roaches in production. He did drone up in here, which indicates... I don't think he saw this coming. I don't think he was aware of it. He made like 4 or 5 drones while this push was walking onto his creep. But Ravagers here, Roaches here too. You need Corrosive Vials for the tanks. That is what they need to hit the tanks really solidly here.
Forward too.
And some Zerglings in production here too. Zerglings wrapping around on those tanks would not be bad.
QXE stims also, once again, his bio is very stim. Combat Shield going to be finishing up soon. He doesn't have too much rallying across the map, and Caleb's going to go for it. He's going to be eating tank shots though, but can he clean this up? Corrosive Vials picks off the first tank, second tank falls, and QXE is routed. All right, good
that
hold.
was a good hold by Caleb. He's still up about 12 to 15 workers here at this point. He's going for upgrades. He's replacing his Queens. He's still 3 base to 2 base against QXC. So he survives. So there's that upgrade. There's that upgrade path that QXC is using for the Marines and Marauders. And eventually there will be 3 just death destruction machines here as the drop comes in. And Caleb is positioned to defend this one. That said, he might lose a couple drones. Nah, not even one.
Good defense
Marauders,
there.
Man.
And
Marauders
maybe
versus
we'll see a 4th base startup for Caleb soon.
Those
4 Marauders.
Whoops.
That was a hot landing site.
That was. QXC did not pay attention to where he was landing there, and that went very well for Caleb.
Yeah, no, overall supply. Caleb really just getting ahead, continuing on with this Roach Ravager production. Sometimes we just see Zergs max out on Roach Ravager and try and overwhelm the Terran. I mean, the tanks were cleared for QXE, so he doesn't have a ton of those to defend.
Another push here from QXC. The Marines and Marauders are working on that ++1. I'm not sure if this is going to be a timing attack. Looks like he's waiting, perhaps waiting for that 1-1 to finish. It does make his guys that much better in every possible way, especially because Marines attack so quickly. Every attack benefits from that attack upgrade.
Yeah,
Medevac's
this
trying to
Zerg's
come in. This
coming
is
in,
a
though.
pretty scary Zerg army. Where are the tanks? Is it just Marine Marauder here?
There's
one.
2 tanks for QXC. He's just trying to buy time for now with this bio, but he's got to fall back to these tanks.
He really does. And the Corrosive Biles need to find the tanks fast. One of them unsieges, recognizing the threat, re-sieging on in. Tank on the high
double the
ground.
supply of QXC right now with the tank on the high ground doing its best. Upgrades, none for each other, but now Caleb's actually going to have the upgrade lead for the tail end of this fight. Just Ravagers, though,
7
pretty
seconds.
much. Another tank
SCV's getting pulled, trying to save this thing. QXC is only down 2 in workers right now, which is just fantastic from him.
Yeah, I mean, he's equaled up on the economy, but he's definitely going to be losing some here as he's trying to make this hold. Marauders and Marines trying to do as much as they can. Good split on the Roaches, though, for Caleb, just collapsing on top of this tank. And now QXC, he does not have that much left.
Wow, suddenly army supply is 88 to 37. The third base of QXC is getting eviscerated. Will any SCVs make it home? No! No one gets home to tell the tale. Caleb is up by about 20 workers right now. Trying to push into this choke a little bit is Caleb. I'm not sure he needs to do that. I mean, he's up 4 bases to 2 bases right now. If he can pick up at the front, that's fine, but I don't know that he needs to get in there to win this game right now. Maybe just a little bit of patience.
Yeah, the third base has been completely shut down. It may actually go down to these Corrosive Piles. It very well could do, but regardless, QXC, it is looking rough for him. He's got Liberators flying on in here. He sets up on this army. He can maybe punish it, but the Corrosive Piles.
Both Liberators die. That was such a huge pickup for Caleb. More Roaches wandering over, getting absolutely massacred as they're not part of the rest of the group. But third command center looks like it did get saved. Yes, SCVs are repairing it as it floats on in. But like I said, Caleb has 4 bases back home. He's working on +2/+2. He's getting centrifugal hooks for banelings.
And he just
as
made
well as
21
+1 melee
Roaches.
attack. So he's adding some banelings into this group really does seem like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, QXC, I mean, he's got a pretty high bank for now while all this was going on. Maybe he just needs to produce just a round or 2 of units, then just go for it, because Caleb is in a very comfortable spot right now. And I mean, Roach Ravager does lose efficiency the higher the numbers. Now, QXC, he's got to pull back in order to deal with this.
Let the repair commence. He's thinking about it. No, he's not thinking about it.
Oh, this CC, it does need to be repaired as Roaches and Ravagers.
I know,
are
but he's
coming
not
on in.
repairing it.
All right, there we go. Now
Now
it's going
he
to get
is.
the hug it needs, but this bio trying to make a stand for QXC. Tank on the high ground still doing its best, but it seems to be the same story as before. The Roach Ravager comes on in, QXC takes losses, then Caleb backs out.
Third base landing, though, real nice. 5th base being taken by Caleb up north. Infestation pit, Spire about to complete for the Zerg player. 13 banelings on the way, and +2 melee attack is being researched too.
Yeah, and look at this, Caleb. He's even got Lings now, maybe planning a potential run by. And yeah, there's no depots to be raised. He's coming in. Banelings, Lings getting a wrap around. QXE forced to kite back. The Banelings trying to get the connection. So far,
Decent
nothing.
connection. Off creep, going after those. Oh, thought about going after those SCVs.
Oh
and
man,
decided
this
not to
third
instead.
base though.
This is so many dead SCVs so far. It's 48 that have been killed already by Caleb. Additional ones going down. Are they going to save this? Nah, the Lings kill all the SCVs on the ground. Zerglings are so good in that situation. It is 64 workers killed by Caleb, and I really think Caleb has this in the bag, despite the fact that QXE is not quite tapped out yet.
The CC stays alive. Oh, I spoke too soon. I thought it was clear from those files, but apparently not. Caleb on point. Now
Sure
QXC.
looked like it. Oh, bit of an attack up north here by QXC.
Okay, a bit of a drop, yeah, but Caleb, he's got Corruptors out to shut this down. And I
Yeah.
think QXC just has to go for it, right? Like, go for broke. He's on 2/2 upgrades. He's got a decent bio count. It's now or never, I think.
He just needs to avoid taking Baneling hits at this stage. There
Yeah.
are not that many on the field, actually. Actually,
A
army
Baneling.
supply. And 17 on the way. Here
There
we go.
we go. He's getting some friends. Now, QXE is going for it. He's heading towards the base, but even if Caleb sacks the base, he's still going to be in a very fine situation. We'll see if he overcommits to the defense or not. That's the real question.
Yeah, he needs to get the Lings with the wraparound on the backside like he did so well in the last battle. But Corruptor's coming in. The Medivacs are in trouble. They need to get out, and they... Tanks firing. Corruptor's not willing to fully engage there. Nice patience displayed by Caleb. We got some Zerg swinging into the natural base of QXC, though. That front door was open, and everybody is dead here.
Game paused.
Righto. Pause there for Caleb.
You have it like that. This is your winning place, dude. You just wiped out the natural base of QXC, and he's mined out in his main. Like,
Just a move, right?
yeah. It's double. Look at the supply, as King Cobb's been saying in chat. 198 to 99 right there. I like defaulted to 199 because that's the assumption, but Caleb.
Okay, so apparently we're having a second bit of downtime.
Thanks for joining us, everyone, for Afreeca World 6. It's Rise Esports versus other people. This has been a really great series, man. QXC versus Caleb. Game 1 was everything you'd ever want from a TvZ, and then Game 2 has just been back and forth. The pressure from the Zerg has been intense. QXC is about to die and force a game. We're going to see a Game 3 here, which really turns it into a best of 3.
Yeah, I mean, Wings at the natural.
Okay. Well, assuming... There we go. QXC's ready.
Alrighty.
Game
There we go. We're off back to the races now. QXE, natural base is getting ransacked. Tank gonna try and make the hold, but there's too many Lings for him, and losing that's pretty critical now. It's really just this one army, but there's been a lot of Terrans in this situation before, and not a lot of them have won the game. So
no, not even with like the best control of all time. The Corruptors are the big problem. They can wipe out the attacks once the Medivacs are gone. The army is dead.
so
Zerglings coming on in.
So much Zerg.
Taking out a Medivac. Another great shots there. Another counterattack of Zerglings heading out across the map to try to knock down that natural base.
QXE's floated his main towards the third base location, so he's got maybe a single base economy between the two, but Ling's getting into the main base. No more production for QXE, and Caleb's just buying himself time, which is definitely on his side at this point.
Yep, the more time, the more 34 Lings he can make, the better upgrades he can get. He's going for a greater Spire just in case, I guess. Not that they're going to use it.
80 supply of QXE.
Exactly. Look at QXC just dancing around here. Yep, found the third base. Did the Zerglings. We're down to 7 SCVs for QXC. Not a good number.
QXC trying to drop. He's a fighter, but that game not looking too good for him. Killing off the queens, trying to get the base, but it's kind of futile at this point.
Yeah, QXC, he's microing with it an inch of his life. Taking failing shots right to the face, though. Ow.
Medivac explodes from corrosive bile as the supply is dropping more and more. He's going for the hatchery, sets his sights on it, baits Caleb into this fight where he eats some tank shots, but the Medivac count has significantly dropped. Meanwhile, back at home.
Dropping the main for Caleb?
Yeah, QXC, that
there was.
And he taps out. GG. Alright, he's a fighter, but can't fight back from that one.
No.
So that means that we are going to be getting on into the next game in this best of 5. Thanks to everyone for tuning on into Afreeca World.
Yeah, really fantastic stuff.
Yes. Caleb having a good showing in that last game, just sort of killer instinct going with the roaches. I mean, you see the third base and you're like, awesome, I'll go for it. And it worked out. QXE did not scout that in time.
No, a little bit too late. The attack did some damage, and then more attacks did more damage, and took a while for QXC to die, but the problem is that you will eventually die if you allow that to snowball over time. So thanks for hanging out. King Cobb in chat says, is this QXC or fantasy? And yeah, kind of did look a little bit like fantasy back there, didn't it?
Now, you can't blame him for trying.
No, No, absolutely not. If you want to fight to the bitter end, you go for it. Although once you start floating buildings and you have nothing else,
Yeah.
no, don't do that. That's bad. I still maintain that buildings should have fuel that they run out of if they're in the air for too long. Just the fact that Terran can force a draw condition that the other races don't have access to is weird.
Both players are ready, so we're gonna get on into it. Crayfish
All right,
says,
let's-
QXC, you got this. And I mean, he had the first game, but the second game drastically different from the first one.
Yeah, in every possible way. And not just because, you know, Caleb won. But yeah, a lot of Roach Ravager stuff there. Marines, Marauders instead of Mech. Out of QXC, good times.
Okay, but here we are, loaded on in. It's currently tied 1-1, spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. It's QXC, and he's proxy raxing.
Yes. And in the bottom right-hand corner, it's the blue Zerg player, CalebAracous. One of those.
QXC, up to date on the meta.
Yeah.
If you're wondering,
Oh,
guys, whether QXC was up to date on the meta, this is it.
Haven't proxied yet. What is wrong with me?
Well, I mean,
I watched BlizzCon. I know what's up.
yeah, there was a lot of cheese back in the day.
I still feel like this is probably the era with the most Terran proxies we've ever seen in StarCraft 2. All right. It's going to be double barracks here, and the scouting by QXC, or by Caleb rather, is as follows. Sloverlords. Have you seen anything? No.
QXC being dirty. I mean, do you really expect someone like QXC to 2-rax you? You can't count him out.
Well, it's a Terran. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't
But-
care who the Terran is.
And it's like, okay, it's this. It's like, how dirty is this former pro gonna play? And QXC's just answers very dirty, as he is gonna start building a.
Oh, but the Overlord, great
It
positioning there.
does, yeah. Caleb keeping it back at home
Honestly-
to see this.
You have two choices here. One is pulling the drones, which we're seeing Caleb do. And it's really, really good to pull the drones here because Marines surprisingly suck against drones. They're slower than drones are.
Oh, that Marine gotta pull back. As long as one of the SCVs stays alive, it's manageable for Terran, as long as he can eventually finish that bunker. But Caleb pulling a lot of drones off the lines,
Yeah,
actually gets
there
the
we go.
SCV. And that bunker not getting up.
Nope, definitely not. Spinecrawler
actually,
coming up here.
more
6
SCVs
lanes.
coming on in.
What? Surprise SCVs! Oh no!
Ooh,
Well, the
and an
bunker can't.
Overlord.
So the bunker can't hit the hatchery. This creep
I
has
think
spread enough at
these
this
two
point.
will be able to, though, if they manage to get up to the Spinecrawler being worked on. This is working for QXC so far.
Ooh. Man, the extra SCVs getting pulled down. The drones coming in.
Caleb's
The
going
bunker
for it.
finishes.
All or
The
nothing.
surround gonna happen. Gotta kill that SCV, repairing as best as you can, and doing some pretty good work here right now.
Oh, the Marines, they just dive out into the next bunker,
Oh,
though.
they got out. He has to do it again.
There's another bunker finishing up to the side, too. They can just jump ship. GG QXC takes the 2-1 lead.
Dirty, dirty, dirty. That's why you
Caleb
scout,
not
you
expecting
guys.
that.
No, but that's why you drone scout. I know Zergs hate drone scouting. I get it, but would have helped him. Would have helped him a lot to see that coming sooner than the bunker coming down at your front door.
Okay. Next map gonna be Cerulean Fall.
That was an incredible investment too from QXC.
It's like awesome. Got myself the 2-1.
Brought a lot of SCVs down. It was beautiful.
Yeah, he was really going for it.
Yeah, got some QXC fans in chat. Crayfish is pretty happy. I think I Like Trees is probably rooting for him as well, based on what I can see. 'Cause. 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 'C Yeah, thanks for joining us, everybody, for this Afreeca event. It is very NA-centered today. We've got 2 NA casters and a bunch of NA players there, too, which is a lot of fun. So thanks for hanging out here on Afreeca. I know most of you are used to watching stuff on Twitch, but getting over here, there's a lot of good StarCraft on the Afreeca site as well. So tell your friends to come hang out on Afreeca. We need to build the NA audience out here because it's really swinging when it's Korean daytime, but not so much for the NA. I just think a lot of people don't necessarily know that it exists. They don't want to come over here. It's a new place. It's scary. But
Yeah.
thanks for hanging out. And again, just make the word known that this is a great place to find high-level fun StarCraft.
It is. You can definitely catch a lot of high-level StarCraft, and we do a lot of stuff that also hits the NA time zone. Like we do sometimes events in the evening as well for other Afreeca Worlds. We're currently doing it bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks.
True fact. Great players in there too. Creator. We've had Fantasy involved. We've had Tasia play. It's been a good time.
All right, now spawning down the bottom left-hand side of the map with the 2-1, we've got QXC. Awesome to have him in the tournament.
Absolutely. Doing pretty well for himself. In the top right-hand corner, it's the red circle player this time. It is CalebAracous.
And what do we got to say about that?
About the pool first play, he's like, I'm not getting proxied again. That's what that is. That's what that message
Yep.
is.
He's like, okay, you pulled a fast one, and oh man.
Extract? No. Oh, it's a Roach Ravager.
It is, yeah.
Gonna
QXC, I mean,
probably-
this build was around at early Legacy of the Void. Back then there was tank evacs to hold it and stuff.
I remember Nurchio doing it quite a bit back then.
Yeah, I think he won a tournament off it.
Uh-huh.
Just poking fun, of course, but there's the Roach Warren on the way.
And yeah, we're done with drones. Laughing games,
Yep.
that's it. We got 13. We're done.
No more?
No more.
All right. Well, what's he going to be making then?
It's gonna be roaches. It's gonna be zerglings. It's gonna be queen. It's gonna be strong. And QXC is SCV scouting.
Oh, wow.
He is.
Look at that.
Like you do.
And he comes on in and he says, right. I guess I
That's
deserve
what's
that
happening.
since I 2-raxed you.
Yeah, but see how the worker scout makes all the difference, you guys?
It does.
QXC's
Just
gonna be
do
ready
it.
for this. Yeah, I know, I understand. People have talked about, oh, it puts you behind economically, but seriously, either you're kind of moderately, maybe behind economically in the mid game, or you die to an all-in. Which would you prefer?
Yeah, the choices, they're a
Seems
bit
pretty
different. Now, this has been scouted, but Caleb's really committing to it. And I mean, the fact that QXE knows about this, Cerulean Fall, a very big map, so he's got time to prepare for this bunker. Already finishing up. Starport going to be well on the way to a potential Banshee by the time the Roaches actually start getting here. And will we see another bunker? There we go. Cyclone, okay. Cyclone on the way for QXE to hold this, using one of the new tools.
Yeah, really good against Roach. Makes a ton of sense to me. And here they come. 3 Ravagers showing up. Bunker on the high ground. Another bunker on the high ground. That bunker does end up finishing, but it takes some serious corrosive biles
Yeah,
right
no
to the
SCVs
face.
to repair. That bunker did not accomplish too much there, but now the Cyclone's out. And that
Cyclone
can
does
lock
not have
onto
that
the
bonus
Overlord or onto
damage.
one of the Ravagers. Starts with the Overlord.
I don't know if you want to get too close to that Overlord. Oh man, a
Yeah, you
supply
probably
block
want
would
to
hurt
repair that if you're
QXC right
QXC.
here.
There you go, a few SCVs going down. He
he
wants
could've
that
got it
Overlord
if he
because if
wanted
you
to.
get that, the rush is effectively over. Oh no, the SCVs, the traitors! Almost blocking that Cyclone there. Bunker getting shot at. You need to repair that QXC.
He's gonna let that supply depot fall too, and that thing's been on fire for like 20 seconds, and there it goes. Repairing the bunker, so that's fantastic. More Cyclones in
Yeah.
production here for QXC too.
Yeah, 2 Cyclones are definitely going to help out. And 1 Overlord's popping on in. Its days are numbered. Pop it goes. Caleb now supply blocked.
Another Overlord is present to hang out though.
Yeah, definitely.
Throw
Caleb
some
bringing that
files on
forward's
the
important. But
bunker
wow, look at
and
these Cyclones
takes it
dispatching
down.
those Ravagers.
Massive play. All right, we'll see how these guys do with Lock-On versus Ravager. And you know what? Pretty good.
Yeah,
Banshee's out here
Banshee.
too.
Also gonna help shut this down.
Yeah, the Banshee is such a great answer. Now the Ravager is just trying to kill as many SCBs as they can before they all die.
And does Caleb just tap out after this? I mean,
He's done. He's got 13 workers back home, and that's it. Well played,
GG.
Caleb. Taps out. QXC is the winner of the first round of his matchup.